Well, hey folks, I've been trying to make sense of something that's really been bugging me. It just doesn't sit right regarding the James Craig case. Why would this dentist, a successful dentist, accused of poisoning his wife Angela, sit through an entire trial, more than 50 prosecution witnesses, only to have every one of them talk about affairs that he's had, manipulations, every single breadcrumb of premeditation laid out bare in front of the court, and then offer no defense? Not a single witness, not even himself. From a legal perspective, sure. Not testifying can be strategic. Well, in this case, I think it runs much deeper than this silence. This complete absence of a defense, isn't just tactical. It's psychological. And in my opinion, it might be the most revealing thing that James Craig has done in this entire trial, perhaps the investigation. Because here's a guy who watched stone-faced as prosecutors rolled out surveillance imagery, footage, poison searches online, and even letters that he wrote from jail outlining what looks like a hit list. Think about this. Here's a guy who's watched this thing unfold stone-faced as they've rolled out surveillance video. They've talked about poison searches on his computers and phone. He wrote letters from the jail outlining what looks like a hit list. He sat there as jurors listened to women that he was cheating on his wife with, come out and talk about him. His sister-in-law, a man that he allegedly asked to even break into his house and burglarize it and plant fake evidence, testified against him. And yet, nothing from the defense. So I find myself asking, and maybe you do too, what causes a guy to watch his entire life unravel publicly and still he refuses to lift a finger in response? Well, if you've read my book, Wolves in Sheep's Clothing, you know that patterns like this exist in narcissistic personality types. It's about control, and Craig, he doesn't want the jury or the public, or the court for that matter, to define who he is. Because in his mind, staying silent gives him power. He thinks he's still the smartest person in the room, that he can outlast the truth somehow. You see, guys like Craig don't just break down on the stand when they talk about things. They oftentimes, because of the risk they take by going in and being cross-examined, share deep down secrets. They know the truth, and they know that the truth would destroy them. They built their entire world on deception. And testifying, that means surrendering control of that kind of a narrative. And control is everything to a guy like James Craig. Now maybe he thought that he'd be acquitted in this case. Maybe he's banking on an appeal happening. Or maybe the truth, what he'd have to admit under oath, is even worse than any of us have heard so far. And that is a really frightening thought. But whatever the reason, his silence is deafening. To the prosecution, well, it's a gift. To the public, it should be a red flag. And to those of us who study this kind of behavior, well, it's a psychological fingerprint of James Craig. One that screams arrogance, calculation, and cold-blooded detachment. So no, I don't think that this was just a legal strategy by James Craig or his defense team. I think James Craig is showing us exactly who he is without saying a single word. And folks, this is exactly the kind of behavior that I break down in my book, Wolves in Sheep's Clothing. The book was written for people like you, the true crime enthusiast, where we explore people like this, people who smile while they manipulate, people who charm while they change the environment, people who groom, predators who hide in plain sight. In fact, Craig's alleged love bombing, his control tactics, the way in which he played multiple women all at once, all aligns with this kind of behavior. They're all red flags. and I detail these kind of things in the book. So if you haven't picked it up yet, please make sure you go over to Profiling Evil and get Wolves in Sheep's Clothing if you live in the United States. Now, I'll sign those and I'll ship them to you for free, but if you live anywhere else in the world, just go to Amazon and you can get that thing anywhere in the world. And I hope you'll pick it up. And please, don't miss the verdict that's coming up in moments. I'm going to be joining former NYPD Commander Paul Morrow over on Fox Nation to break down what this case is all about, what this verdict will mean, and where it might go next, and whether justice has truly been served for Angela Craig. Hey, trust me, folks, you're going to want to hear this one, so make sure you stick around. And thanks for supporting Profiling Evil. We'll see you all soon at the next crime scene.